So we just finished our Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough a few days ago. And we thought it would be fun to do a tier list. We do tier lists for quite a lot of things.
Yeah, but this is the first one for Baldur's Gate 3.
This is also just for fun, so don't take anything too seriously.
This is the characters of Baldur's Gate 3. Mostly the companions. We'll do all the companions, as well as...
We have a frick ton of other characters as well.
Other various NPCs who are somewhat important to the story.
We should warn that this is going to be very spoiler heavy for the entire game.
We have finished the game and we want to talk about spoilers for the endings of the characters. So if you haven't finished the entire game, like if you're on Act 2, you shouldn't watch this. Starting with Lae'zel. She has a very impactful character arc.
Yeah.
Going from a Vlaakith supporter to a Vlaakith destroyer.
Right. For, I guess, certain people.
Yeah, well, for all the characters, it seems like you can take them in a couple different directions.
Right.
Which I think is really cool. I like that the character flaw is, for a lot of these characters, is something that the character sees as a plus for them.
Right.
Like for Lae'zel, she's a Vlaakith supporter. She likes Vlaakith. She doesn't believe in the Orpheus lies.
Yeah.
And that's a character flaw, but she sees it as the best part of her. She's very dogmatic. So to slowly have her come to the realization that
pretty awesome. I do
everything
remember,
she believes is a lie.
Yeah,
is pretty awesome.
I do remember at the end of Act 1 when she finally starts to come around. It was pretty epic.
When Voss shows up.
Yeah, Voss, I think he has a pretty big impact on her story. And then of course at the end of the game you get she gets to lead her people into the I guess the astral plane atop a massive dragon, which is very sick. Yeah. Yeah, I like Lae'zel. To me, Lae'zel is an S tier.
She is definitely a complete a-hole to you.
Yes. Yes.
But it makes sense when, I mean, she got a Gake tadpole, and speaking from her point of view, Mind Flayers are like her worst nightmare, her worst enemy. Yeah. So like her worst case scenario is happening.
Lae'zel also is cool because her character arc is intrinsically linked to the main story of the game.
Yeah.
Because she's a Gith. And also, you know, I like me some Gith and Mind Flayers.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I was most I mean, I played as a Gith, so I was really hyped up.
Yeah, I agree. Lae'zel is S tier. Also, I want to say, all the voice acting, or acting in general in this game, is top tier.
Even for like the small minor characters who we're not ranking.
So even like characters we're putting lower on the list, like the actor did a freaking good job.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that.
Now, Lae'zel, she's probably my favorite character in the whole game.
Okay, well,
so I'll tell you that now.
She's not mine. We'll get to mine. She feels like the cover art character to me. Yeah. Like she's the first companion you meet. She has a very unique character design.
Yeah.
You know, she looks like a main character. She's got bad A armor when you meet her.
And you see, this is my problem with some of the other companions is we don't have enough variety of like racial background.
I agree.
Lae'zel breaks that by basically
I was saying this the other day. We have Jaheira, who's a half-elf. Halsin, who's a half-elf.
Shadowheart,
half-elf. Astarion, half-elf. And then we have Minsc as a human, Gale as a human, Wyll as a human.
So we only have
That's 7 of the, 10 companions.
Yeah, it's only Karlach and Lae'zel who are not half-elf.
And Minthara, if you ever get her.
Right. All right, Shadowheart.
I'm very curious what your opinion of Shadowheart is.
Yeah.
You tried to romance Shadowheart.
Yeah.
But it did not work.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is I didn't like her at the beginning. Because she seemed kind of lame. So I was mean to her. But as the game progressed, as she started to reveal more, but once she started talking about how her memories were suppressed, and I was like, oh, that seems like an interesting concept, and I started to like her a little bit more throughout the story. I like Shadowheart.
She has a cool story near the end where she has to choose between Shar and Selûne.
Right.
The thing I will say about Shadowheart, I feel like there are a few things that make a good companion in a video game.
Okay.
One of them is initial interest. You have to be like, oh, that's a cool character. I want to go talk to them. Whether it be they're funny or they're charming or something like that. You know, a character like Lae'zel, complete a-hole. She's got something interesting going on about her.
Right.
The thing for Shadowheart is that she keeps secrets.
Yeah.
That's her thing. And
everyone
I feel like
keeps secrets.
I feel like that's not really a part of her character. It's just like they gave her the prism that's like part of the main plot. They gave her a main plot thing instead of a character-based interest that can lead you into her character. So that's one downside I have for Shadowheart. After that, when you actually explore her character story, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, the artifact is kind of linked to her backstory because she was given it to her by the Shar people.
I mean, I just feel like that's a stretch. You could have given it to any character.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's her main... I'm curious what happens if she stays with Shar. Like, is the artifact more important to her in that case? But it does kind of feel like she just has the artifact so you can get it.
Yeah.
A little bit. I guess I can see your point of view on that.
Also, Shadowheart is the companion that is spec'd worst out of all the companions when you first get her in terms of combat.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I respect her.
Yeah. That being said...
I didn't really like her. I respect her into a ranger.
Where would you put her?
For me, it's between S and A.
Okay. For me, it would be an A tier.
You would do say an A tier?
I don't think she's on the same level as Lae'zel. I love their Lae'zel and Shadowheart's rivalry.
Yeah. I wish that was explored a little bit more in Acts 2 and 3.
I just don't think she's quite there. Yeah, that would have been cooler. I do feel like Shadowheart would be a great origin character to play as.
I will say Shadowheart, I think, gets fricked a little bit in Act 3. Like, she has her awesome quest, but I wish she had gotten a scene at the very end.
Of the entire game?
Yeah.
Well,
I guess if you
that's a problem with a few other characters, too.
I guess Shadowheart, Astarion.
Astarion
Gale.
is the big one for me. Obviously, well, we'll get to Gale.
It's those four. Shadowheart, Astarion, Gale, and Wyll don't. No, Wyll gets something. Those three don't really. Really, for us, it was Shadowheart and Astarion.
If you romance them, they get
But
something.
I also feel like the climax of her story was earlier in the game for her companion.
Yeah, okay, so where are we putting her?
I'm okay with A.
Okay.
Begrudgingly. Now, here's the thing. If you wanted to, you could easily talk me up to an S, but I know you're not going to.
No, I'm not.
All right, Astarion. Astarion seems like the most popular.
I think he's probably the most popular.
Yeah.
Him and Karlach are the two most popular.
I think it's Astarion. Yeah, Karlach I think too, but I think Astarion is.
So what do you think of Astarion?
I don't like him as much as most people. I do like him. I think the thing with Astarion is when you're doing a co-op campaign, you only get one companion you can take with you.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was either Lae'zel or Shadowheart pretty much for the whole game. For you, generally it was Gale or Karlach.
Mm-hmm.
That being so we didn't really have a lot of time to spend with Astarion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I liked his companion quest a lot, especially the climax was really cool, and really awesome, and very cathartic.
He's one of the best actors in the whole game.
Oh yes, he's definitely one of the best. Literally every line, and his emotional lines, they hit pretty hard.
He says it in a way that doesn't feel like a video game character. Also,
it's like,
oh, that's an interesting. Like I wouldn't have thought of that way to say that.
Yeah, it makes him innately interesting, I think.
He's a very unique movement to him as well.
Yeah, but we didn't really have a lot. I think on subsequent playthroughs, my opinion on him will go up as I spend more time with him. But in our playthrough, we didn't do a lot with him. I mean, we had his companion quest. I feel like one kind of downside for him is his companion quest doesn't really go anywhere until Act 3. Like, he has
the thing with Yrgir, I think is his name, and Raphael. You have to kill Yrgir.
His little quest in Act 2. That felt a little tacked on to me.
Yeah, that felt like we have this demon Yrgir. Let's add him to Astarion's quest.
And compared to like Shadowheart, who she's basically the main character of Act 2.
Yeah.
So, in Act 1, he's interesting though. I mean, him feeding on you is an interesting idea for an RPG.
So, were you saying A tier?
Yeah. I'd probably put him in A tier. I like Shadowheart more than him, I think.
Really? Mm-hmm. Nah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I like Shadowheart.
I would put Astarion in S tier.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just think his character arc was really compelling, and that final scene where he's finally free of Cazador was so cathartic.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
He really acted the crap out of that.
He's a good actor. Yeah.
Astarion gets fricked the most with Act 3 ending, where there's no closure for his character.
Yeah.
If you don't romance him, he like gets touched by the sun.
For us, he didn't have anything
and runs away. Like what? I want to know what happened to Astarion.
I think that was more supposed to be like a joke.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the last time you see him.
I think it was a joke.
Oh,
I wish he had a.
There needs to be at least one more scene with Astarion, or have an end title screen at the end to tell what Astarion got up to at the end of his life. Because we know when he loses the tadpole, he's going to be hurt by the sun. I guess if he becomes a true vampire, does he not get hurt by the sun?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I will say the thing I also liked about his quest was that I feel like there's a variety of different ways these decisions can go, and I think they were all pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's one of my other pillars of a good video game companion is changeability. how much the player can alter them
Yeah.
and change their quest. But that's true with every one of these characters.
Yeah, for me, I just wish he had a little bit more to do in Act 2.
Okay, so I guess we're going to put him in A tier. Guess I'll put him below Shadowheart. Or,
I'll let you put him above Shadowheart.
okay, all right. Yeah, he just has more
Personality?
than Shadowheart.
Yeah, he does have more personality.
Like, you talk to him and he's really interesting.
As far as all the characters go, he probably has the most personality, I would say.
Yeah, I could see that.
All right, moving on to Gale.
All right. He's my love. I romanced Gale.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I saw him come out of that portal and I was like, I'm going to romance that guy.
Let's just say Gale knows how to cast Mage Hand.
Oh, yeah. I really love Gale's character arc.
Mm.
I could see it going in 2 different directions. I saw someone comment on the internet that they thought Gale had no character growth.
Really?
And it seemed like they chose an option that didn't give him character growth. But if you go against what he's saying, and if you move him away from his flaws, you get him to grow as a character. And by the end, I like how he's less ambitious and less like, not trying to be a god. And he's just like, I'm going to let go of the Gale of Waterdeep title. I'm just Gale Decarius now. I really like that. It was very satisfactory.
That was cool. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Overall, throughout the entire game, giving him a purpose and letting him see his self-worth was really nice to see. And also, he's just got a charm to him.
He does have a charm.
He's one of the, he feels very realistic to me.
I would say Gale is probably the most underrated of the companions.
Everyone hates Gale.
I feel like I don't see a lot of... I guess it's because people feel like they're forced into a romance with him or something.
And also, you give him magic items.
Right.
But I mean, you get like 10 useless magic items.
Yeah, at least you get way more than 10.
This is his first video game too. The actor.
That's crazy.
He felt so natural.
Yeah. I like Gale. Whenever he dies and you have to revive him.
Oh yeah,
that part's
so
awesome.
Funny. That is so funny. I love.
Yeah,
that.
I like Gale. My only problem with Gale is that he's a human.
I feel like Gale.
We have too many humans.
I feel like he should be the human of the game.
Yeah. I was thinking about his character more. I think he was probably an S tier for me.
Thank you. Gale is my second favorite character.
I do feel because you romanced him. Like, I feel like I'm not going to romance him for my playthroughs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I romanced Gale, I got a very nice ending with Gale as well.
Yeah. I think Gale...
Married him. It took me to Waterdeep.
I think Gale would probably be... He's one of the characters that got effed by the ending, it seems like. But because you romanced him, he got something, so we probably think a little higher of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's underrated.
So Wyll.
As a Warlock player, I wish I would have had Wyll's story. Like, everything with Mizora is pretty interesting. I like Wyll's story. The problem with Wyll is he's a little bland.
He is bland. I feel like people are going to say that a lot about Wyll.
No.
It is interesting to see him stand up for Karlach after hunting her for however many years.
Yeah.
And then being punished for it. Pretty cool. That was his coolest part.
Mm-hmm.
That was the coolest thing about Wyll.
I like that Wyll also for our ending, he goes with Karlach at the end to Avernus.
That was pretty cool.
I wanted Karlach and Wyll to get together.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that.
I agree.
I wish the companions could have relationships between themselves. That would be pretty awesome.
So where are we putting Wyll? I feel bad about putting Wyll so low.
Me too. I do feel bad putting him low. Maybe B?
I was going to say C.
That's what I was thinking initially as well.
He's the least used party member for us.
Like I feel like I was never sad to see Wyll seen. Like at camp.
So you want to put him in B then?
Yeah. I might be convinced to lower him a little bit later, but for now,
We'll take a look after.
For now, we'll put him in B.
All right. Karlach.
All right. Karlach is definitely easily an S tier.
Thank you. Putting Karlach right at the top S.
She's one of the best characters.
Karlach is definitely my favorite character.
Yeah.
I really liked the scene where you finally repair her engine in Act 2. Not repair it, but fix it, kind of. You get to hug her. That was so nice to see.
Yeah.
She's super
A romance with her will probably be pretty fulfilling.
Yeah.
She also gets an ending at the end of the game.
Which is
she gets 2 scenes.
And one was added in a patch.
I liked her rage scenes where she lost control.
No, yeah, when you fight Gortash.
She just loses it, like when you first fight the paladins, they're like fake paladins. She just screams at them and breaks the entire place apart. Really cool. I don't think we need to say more about Karlach unless you.
I like that she's different from the rest of the companions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we've got Mizora here.
Yeah, because I guess we have Wyll and Karlach, and now we can do Mizora.
Yeah.
It is very disappointing that the Warlock player doesn't have any interaction with their patron. And yet Wyll gets to interact with Mizora, like, a ton throughout the story.
I mean, like, Paladin gets Oathbreaker thing.
Yeah.
Like, give me something.
You can frick Mizora.
What?
Yeah, remember she came on to me in the camp?
Really?
You can, yeah.
I didn't.
And then your romance gets mad at you.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I wish Mizora had been my patron because she's a really cool character.
Yeah. She's awesome. I love how she always is quoting the contract.
Yeah.
She's like, section full. So where would you put her?
I'd probably still put her in B tier, I feel like.
B? Okay.
I can't put her all the way up in A tier, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I liked her a lot.
All right, now, by the Oak Father's blessing, we are on Halsin. Hail, and well met. By the Oak Father's blessing.
Halsin's a D tier, dog.
He's such a video game character.
Yeah. He's so bland and uninteresting.
I hate to roast him so hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people really like him.
I mean, people romance him because he can F the bear.
Yeah, you can F the bear. But I'm okay to put him in D tier. I mean, I don't hate his guts.
Yeah.
He's funny when we talk to him because of everything he says about, like, the Oak Father blessing him and by Sylvanas. Crap like that. Like,
I think I would like him more if he wasn't a
For one, we
companion.
have 2 druid companions.
Yeah.
Where are the bards at?
Jaheira.
Alright, so now we're on Jaheira.
in Minsk.
Jaheira being a character from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. You can have her in your party in 1 and 2.
Yes.
Baldur's Gate 1, I mean, you can have her, but the companions don't really do anything or have any kind of personal
Right.
stories.
Right.
Baldur's Gate 2, they have a lot more. And I have to say, as a fan of Jaheira, they did a great job. I loved her character, especially as you go into Act 3. In Act 2, when you finally get her at the end, I was like, I don't know if we need to have Jaheira as a companion. But in Act 3, they give her a lot to do, give her some interesting story. I really liked her character of how she felt guilty of leaving Minsk behind, and almost having to repay it back to Minsk. And Minsk and her banter is so good. I love it. And then finding out she has a bunch of kids that she like helped along in that house. So I love Jaheira. I love how she ends up calling you her cub.
Yeah, that's cool.
What do you think about Jaheira?
I mean, I like them, but I feel like they should have stayed as non-companion characters. I would say.
I can understand that.
It just feels like it's tacked on to me. Like
I feel like Jaheira works more as a companion than Minsk.
yeah, I mean, Minsk, you barely have any time to spend with them as your companion.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like halfway through Act 3 at that point. You're doing companion quests, so you have to take certain people with you.
I just really like Jaheira.
And I liked the stuff with the cubs. So I would probably put her in B.
Can you go A for me?
You gotta make a case.
All right.
Hold on, all right. If you put her in A, then I get a little bit of sway later on in the list.
Sway?
Yeah.
All right, deal.
Okay. All right. If she's in A, then I think Minsk is in A as well, because I think I like them the same amount. Yeah, I like them the same amount.
I wouldn't put Minsk in A personally. I know
Really?
he's the most popular companion in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Oh, is he really?
The most iconic, easily. And they did a fine job with him. He's just, very
He's funny.
to the point. He is Minsk. He's not going to apologize for it.
Yeah. I guess the
I
problem...
just feel like he doesn't have as much depth as someone like Jaheira.
No.
But I like him. I thought Matt Mercer did a good job.
You get him so late in the game, there's not really any time for him to get
That's a big thing.
Like, Minsk is the only companion who does not have a companion quest.
Yeah, you find him. I feel like finding him is Jaheira's quest.
Okay, I'm okay with B, I think.
Okay. He's funny. Him and Boo are funny.
Yeah. I don't understand Boo. Like, I don't know where that's... I guess you had to be there type thing.
Minthara.
Probably F tier.
We pushed her into her spider pit, let her die.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like maybe we shouldn't rank her.
Yeah, we didn't really
It'd be
interact
like
with her.
if you let Wyll kill Karlach in your playthrough. Then you rank Karlach as like a F tier.
I've heard people like her. I'm curious, just like, once I'm able to work myself up to doing an evil playthrough, I'll be interested to get her as a companion.
Okay.
I mean, when you have her on your team, you have to romance her because you're never going to get her again.
Yeah. Spider food.
There you go. Okay. So we have the tieflings here as our next few characters here.
Yeah.
Starting with Zevlor.
interesting character. He gets a little lost in Act 2. It's like, where the frick is Zevlor? And then he shows up for one scene, and then again, it's like, where is he? And then he shows up in Act 3 for one scene.
I'll be honest, I was pretty interested in him whenever the tieflings were talking about how they abandoned him. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's an interesting turn of events. But then you find him, and it feels like that doesn't really go anywhere. Like, I would have liked a scene with him, like, proving himself to the rest of the tieflings again.
Yeah, if they
Or
just
something.
added a little bit more for Zevlor, he
would be
would
a
have
lot
been
higher.
a top tier. But as of now, I'd say he's maybe a C tier.
Yeah. I like him because he looks cool. He's got a good design.
He does have a cool design. Dammon.
Is it Dammon or Damon?
Karlach says Dammon. So I go by what Karlach says.
Now Karlach, that's a romance I wanted to see.
Her and Dammon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Definitely. He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy, and that's about all I have to say about him.
Obviously a side character.
Yeah.
His main deal is he helps Karlach with the Infernal Engine. That's really all he's good for.
Yeah.
But while he's there, he's nice, and he's charming. And
I feel bad
cool.
for stealing a really expensive armor from him. We basically stole 13,000 gold from the guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm not spending that. I got to go to the hells.
it was Astarion who did it. So we can't feel bad.
So
he did
he-
it on his own fruition.
I mean, he did, and he freely gave it over to me and lied to me and told me that it was from somewhere else, so I wouldn't return it. All right, so what do you think?
I think-
B, C?
I'd be fine with D, B, or C. Do you like him more than Zevlor? I say maybe the same as.
I probably like Zevlor a little bit more, but I think that's just my own bias because he looks so cool.
I probably would like Dammon a little bit more just because of his direct Karlach, story.
Fair enough. Okay.
You remember her name?
No, that's the girl she's with. Lacrissa is the girl she's with. I don't know her name.
Alfira.
Alfira. With an A?
Yes.
Okay, so we missed her scene in the first part of the game.
Yeah.
So I know you went back and you've seen it now. So you have a little bit more authority than I do.
Yeah. That when I gave you some bias, you got to use the authority on me.
Yeah. So where would you put her? Because I feel like I don't know necessarily enough. I liked her little story with the other.
So in my
tiefling
other
girl.
playthroughs, I've experimented with some choices,
Uh-huh.
and there are some fricked up things that happen around this character.
What?
That is all I want to say about it.
What?
But it's very weird and cool.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for you because I don't know.
Now you make me think this is something darker related.
But I like her.
I
I think she's really cool. I mean, intrinsically, bards are my favorite.
I know
class.
you like bards. You played a bard.
I did play a bard, and you can learn musical proficiency from her.
Right. I didn't. I wish I had done that because I wasted a feat on it.
Her story in Act 1 is her teacher was killed. She's trying to write a song that will honor her teacher.
Okay, don't spoil too much for me now because I haven't seen the scene yet. I just arrived at the Grove in my new playthrough.
All right, well, I'll skip that part. And then seeing her build a relationship with Lacrissa was pretty cool. And they don't really say exactly what it is until Act 3 when you find him on that rooftop, which I like. I just think she's a nice, charming character. I always liked talking to her. I'd put her in B tier.
Okay. I'll kind of let you rank this one because I feel like I don't have the authority to do so.
Okay.
All right, Mol.
Mol suffers from a weak Act 3 performance.
Yeah. Called bad ending-itis.
She just, is there and is a shopkeeper. Like, what? We've been looking for you, dude. Where have you been?
Yeah.
The entire tiefling, people.
And we killed Raphael and she had, nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
And you never got the return from your gold you gave to her.
Oh, yeah. I gave her 20 gold as an investment.
You know, rob the freak?
In your Thieves Guild. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with her ending.
That brings her down at least 1 tier for me.
So what do you think?
You find her eye patch,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, that's going to be a cool moment when I give it back.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't.
Stayed in my inventory.
It wasn't.
For the entire effing game.
You give it to her at one point.
No.
I thought you did.
Think so. No,
you give it to her friend.
Oh, well, they didn't take it, though.
Oh, really?
I still had it.
Yeah, I think D tier.
Okay. Just because
better
of that.
Better than Halsin. Better than Halsin.
If you just give her 1 scene, I can see her as a C tier. Even a B tier.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't.
Halsin being down there like, hail and well met.
Okay.
All right, Roland.
I really like Roland.
All right.
Roland is a character that actually has a distinct arc and is consistent throughout the game. He has consistently a fair amount of scenes. Act 1, he has some nice scenes. Act 2, he has nice scenes. Act 3, he has nice scenes. They all pay off each other.
I also kind of like in some of his scenes in Act 1, like, they're so short. Like, he's firmly a side character.
Yeah.
And he's fleshed out more as the game goes on.
And you find him in Act 2, it's like, oh, cool.
And then you find him in Act 3, oh, what are you doing here, Roland? You okay? And he's more interesting because he's funny, too, in Act 1.
Yeah.
I think Roland is the perfect example of how to do a side character.
I agree. I love.
This is how all of the side characters should have been.
I loved seeing him as the apprentice in Act 3, but really he's just a crappy shopkeeper. And you help him take on the Werewolfkin.
Yeah.
So, where do you want to put him?
I want to put him in S tier.
S tier?
Yes.
Oh! Say what now? Frick no!
You don't think
Frick no!
You don't think he's in S tier?
No!
What would you put him
As
at?
good as Gale? As good as Karlach?
Look, he doesn't have as much screen time, but with what he has, he makes do.
I would say maybe low A tier.
All right, I might use my authority on that, but I want to wait to see your opinion on Barcus.
All right, well, Barcus is definitely an S tier.
All right. I was saving my authority for Barcus. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, you gotta love Barcus.
Barcus
man.
is the one character I wanted to romance.
Yeah, it would have been great if he was romanceable. I mean, from the first scene, he's like so funny. He's like, "All right, I know you're gonna." What does he say? I can't remember.
I know he says something like, "If we meet again, then we will have met again."
Yeah, he's got some great lines.
He is
and
funny,
surprisingly, when you get to Act 2 and 3, he's got some character depth
It
to
hits
him
me
too.
He's got heart.
He's got some real character depth and even some character growth.
And when they reveal that Wolburn is a massive a-hole, man, that hit me.
Yeah,
That hit me. That hit me.
You
pretty
gotta
good.
love Barcus, man.
I love Barcus.
He's great.
Barcus is one of my favorite characters in the game.
Yeah. He's great.
And the fact that you can kill him in Act 1
I know.
by swinging him out the window.
I know.
Holy frick!
I didn't do it on my Dark Urge. I couldn't.
You can't do it, man.
I had to let him down.
You gotta.
All right.
Now, yeah. All right, I'm gonna use my authority on Roland.
Come on, man. Roland?
Yeah.
As good as Barcus?
Yeah, I like Barcus more.
Oh, come on, dude.
But Roland has like a perfect arc.
Nah. All right, just so you know, I'm fully against this, but you're using your authority on
I'm
me.
using my authority. I don't think there's any other characters I feel as strongly about,
Okay.
other than Barcus, of course.
Okay. Volo.
Volo is a joke character.
Yes. And I'm not going to lie, he's kind of annoying.
Well, yeah, I think you're supposed to have him take your eye out,
Yeah.
and then he leaves camp.
But we didn't do that.
We didn't do that because we wanted him as a shopkeeper, which means he repeats the same line over and over again.
Every time you click on him,
Yeah.
he says the same freaking line.
And he has like 2 lines you have to skip twice.
Yeah. I liked that there was some bard-specific dialogue that I had with him. I could out-bard him in the goblin camp.
It's cool that he's in it because he was in our long-running campaign.
He was in the previous
to see
games
him.
as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, he's cool. I like, especially his beginning his beginning interactions are especially interesting.
So where would you put him? Maybe a C tier?
I'd probably put him low B.
Low B?
Yeah.
I don't think he just annoyed. He grated my ears after a while.
A high C then is fine.
Okay.
High C.
Okay, next up we have Voss, the Githyanki, who pretended to be with Vlaakith, but secretly was working to free Orpheus.
Right.
Which is pretty interesting. And then when you find him in Act 3 with his scarring and
that was
messed
cool.
up ear.
That was cool.
Pretty interesting.
And when he comes to you at camp and tells you about it.
That was the coolest scene for him. Where would you put him?
So I really like Voss. My main problem with Voss, I especially like him because I was a Gith player.
Mm-hmm.
My main problem with him is he feels like a vehicle to tell the story. He doesn't have much of an arc on his own.
I agree.
Like, he stays the same for the whole game, but I still liked his character. Like,
He more feels like a way for Lae'zel to learn stuff.
But the idea of his character is interesting enough to, I still think he deserves a good spot in the list. I'd probably put him at low, maybe mid B.
I personally would say C.
Well, at least give me a low B.
Fine.
You like him more than Volo. I know you do.
I do like him more than Volo. All right. Kagha.
I didn't do her quest.
Yes. I did it on a separate playthrough. It was really awesome.
Really?
It's really cool.
All right, well, don't spoil anything.
What do you think of her?
Probably C tier.
Really? I would say B. I think she's a great villain.
Really?
I think she's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Especially if you play a druid character.
Really?
You get some special dialogue.
I'll have to do her quest on my next playthrough. I'm sad we didn't get to it. That's one of the few quests we missed.
I would have liked her to show up more in Acts 2 and 3.
She wasn't in it at all, I guess.
Yeah.
Halsin mentions her, which means...
But I think she's awesome still.
Which means we didn't know anything about her. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Duke Ravengard.
D.
I agree. He's so boring.
He's really bland.
Like, what? Come on, man. We were looking the entire game for you, and all you gotta do is be an a-hole.
Yep.
And talk in a very generic way.
That's right. We don't have any F tiers.
I don't know if any of the characters are F tier, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair.
They're all at least serviceable. Speaking of giving services to the player, Withers.
All right.
He's more of a mouthpiece.
He's more,
He's more there just to let you respec.
I wish there had been a little bit more with him.
Yeah.
I saw someone suggest a good DLC for the game would be Withers brings all the companions back together for one last night to talk and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That would be
kind of
cool.
like the Citadel DLC from Mass Effect.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Which I would like to see.
It's an interesting way to do a respec or hirelings.
And yeah, when you first encounter him, it's pretty cool. I just did that in my game.
Yeah.
So maybe B tier.
B tier? Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not?
Frick it.
You know what? We do what we want here. Who cares?
Who cares?
Isobel.
Isobel and Dame Aelin.
It was a twist in the story to find out she was the daughter of Ketheric.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Her character design is sick.
Her character design is immaculate.
I like her.
I would have liked to see a little bit more of her.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked her relationship with Aelin.
Yeah.
They had a very charming relationship.
It was very charming. I feel like once we finally got both of them and I heard all the other dialogue, it's like they didn't have much and I just kept clicking them to see what else they had and they just kept saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I would have just liked a little bit more with them. Although I will say Dame Aelin's ability, at the end when you can call your allies, her ability is probably the best.
Is her the healing one?
Yeah. Okay. That's the only one we used twice.
Oh, yeah.
Isobel and Dame Aelin, I think they probably are ranked similarly to me.
Dame Aelin obviously has, I feel like, more with the main story. We have to free her, which is awesome.
Or you can kill her.
So
very, very
having her get the armor, after you see her as this prisoner in rags, get the armor and the wings.
And she also clears...
She starts flying to the tower.
Yeah, she clears out the shadow.
That was so cool, bro.
Yeah, she's cool.
And when she fights Lorcan and she does the backbreak move on him.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That was cool.
She does the...
that was really cool.
The Bane?
Yeah, she does the Bane.
That's cool. I'd probably put both of them in B.
I agree, B. I like them more than Withers, so we'll put Withers below and Kagha below.
I like them more than most of these characters. I'd probably put them at the top of B.
Okay, we'll put them at the top of B. Ding. All right, there we go.
All right, so now we've got the three kind of big bads of Act 3. Ketheric, Orin,
being
and Gortash.
Ketheric is Act 2.
Oh, yeah. Each Act 2.
So
Okay.
Ketheric Thorn.
Played by J.K. Simmons.
Yes, he did a great performance. Super awesome, especially when he gets hit by the axe with the goblin. And he's just try again.
Now, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think he's my least favorite of the three.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Ketheric is more of a guy in a bad spot. He just wanted to bring his daughter back, and that was his whole goal. That was his entire goal. He used to be a Selûnite,
right?
But he's turned away just to get Isobel back.
There's a lot of story told through notes with his character. I feel like too.
I personally, the B tier is getting a little big.
I'm thinking B tier, to be honest.
All right, we'll put him in B tier. If he wasn't voiced by JK, he'd be in C tier. But
yeah. All right, Orin.
I thought she was great.
She is my favorite of the three.
Her disguising herself as people in Baldur's Gate,
which I hear is random. It can do other people too, I believe.
Crazy. We be telling her everything about our personalities and secrets, and she just turns into Orin. It's got you.
Yep. She's the only character in the whole game that made me genuinely nervous.
Yeah. She turned into that blacksmith, and then she captures one of your companions.
I was scared for a while that Lae'zel was going to die.
Also, her turning into the Slayer,
I know,
was awesome.
That means nothing to me, but
the Slayer is a big part of Baldur's Gate 2, because your character is a ball spawn and can turn into the Slayer. And it's more of a corruption thing. Like, if you turn into Slayer, you're given into your deepest, darkest desires. And so seeing that, especially with good graphics, was really cool.
You just roasted Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
I mean, they don't look very good.
This game looks really good. All right. I'd put her at A tier.
Yeah, I'm fine with A tier. I'll put her at the top A.
I really like her. Her design is pretty bad A. Now it's time for Gortash. I like that he's voiced by the guy. Now, I feel bad that I don't know his name. I do feel bad.
I know his name.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me what it starts with.
J.
That didn't help at all. Second letter?
Of his first name?
Yeah.
A.
Will I know his last name more?
I don't know. It's kind of both names.
Gerald? I don't know. Jarn?
Jason Isaacs.
Oh, okay. I did
plays
know.
Lucius Malfoy, and I gotta say, I don't know if I would have recognized him if I didn't see that behind the scenes video.
I think his voice performance is very, very strong.
Yeah, I loved his initial scene with Orin at the beginning of Act 3. I love when games show you the villains. It gives me Dragon Age Origins vibes. A lot of this game gives me Dragon Age Origins vibes, and I love the scene where Karlach gets to kill him.
Yeah,
and she's like, well, he's dead, but now what? Now I'm still going to die. And she just freaks out. It's such a great scene.
Yeah.
Such a juicy scene.
That's more of a testament to Karlach's character, though, too.
That's true. I just want to gush a little bit more about Karlach.
I know you do. I like Gortash. I think he's pretty...
He looks a little bit like a Final Fantasy character with that haircut.
He does, a little bit. But I feel like his offer of, like...
Oh, yeah.
Was actually something you could consider.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that got me to not consider it was the whole he wanted to take over the city. But it, like...
We did the inside check and it was like, he would actually do it.
I know, that was... Like, he genuinely wants to team up with you, which is what makes him interesting. And then, like, I think taking him down is pretty satisfying. Like, you have to take out the Steel Watch, which I love how the Steel Watch looks, and I really want a 3D model of them. And then you have to free those people from the underwater area. Yeah, I think he's a cool character.
So where would you put him?
I'd probably put him high B.
High B. Okay, I'm fine with that. Put him above Minsk.
Okay.
Raphael.
He's a good character. It was very satisfying to kill him.
Yeah. I'm going to be straight with you. He's my favorite villain of the game. I think
really?
He is awesome. He has so much charisma. Every time you talk to him, he's like, has these banger lines that are just so cool. He's such a good representation of devils. He's super menacing. He's super intimidating, but also he's trying to make a deal with you.
Yeah.
He's going to get that deal. He's going to get that deal. He's like a businessman.
Yeah.
Also, I saw a scene on YouTube the other day where if you do side with him and he gives you the Orphic Hammer and you lose the Orphic Hammer, like throw it in a chasm or something.
He can give it to you?
That's his whole deal.
Right. Yeah, and you lose it.
He'll show up and be like, you lost it. Here it is.
Really?
Yeah. He's like condescending about it though.
That's funny. So what are you
also, I mean, his boss fight, when that music starts playing,
the music hits pretty hard.
Holy crap.
The music does hit.
Up there with some of the best moments in the whole game for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that entire section of going into the Hells was really cool. So I am arguing for S tier here.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I would have put him in an A, but the song at the end gets him to an S.
Putting him above Roland.
But not
because
above
Roland deserves to be in the probably high B tier.
Really? Holy crap.
He's not as good as Jaheira, come on.
Hey, son. Originally you had him in A. Cazador.
Cazador is not in it that much. Yeah. He's really just there for that last fight. He's got some nice presence to him, though. Very cool character.
He's more of a vehicle for Astarion's character growth.
But I mean, he was fine while he was there. I'd give him maybe low B tier. Not think too much about it.
There's a lot of build up to him.
Yeah, the B tier getting big, boy.
A lot of B tier characters.
All right, this is a B tier game, so I'm just kidding.
Frick.
All right,
roasting him, son.
Auntie Ethel. Now I'm guessing in the early access she was in that, but we had no idea about her, so we just thought she was a nice old lady. So finding out
we knew there was something up with her,
but we didn't know she was a hag.
Yeah, we didn't know she was a hag.
Finding out she was a hag was really cool.
Yeah,
and I like that she comes back in Act 3 a lot. She's pretty a messed up character, and I really like the way you have to get because she eats a child, and you have to find like a thing
to throw at her,
poison or something to throw at her. That was a really cool thing. So I thought she was great. I'd give her, I don't know, what do you think?
Honestly, I'd give her an A tier.
I agree with the A tier, yeah.
She was really interesting.
I agree. Okay, moving on to the Emperor, a.k.a. Baldurin.
Yeah.
A.k.a. the little freak boy.
The massive a-hole.
I have a feeling a lot of people don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't know the general consensus. I just feel like people are going to hate him.
Right.
Because you make the Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it was really clever for them to have you make the Guardian.
Be honest, I thought it was a dumb gimmick at first. But then when they revealed the actual purpose of it, I was like, oh, that's actually cool.
It makes you trust the Guardian more. That you made the Guardian.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I made him.
Yeah.
So he's going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying he won't help you. He clearly can help you. He's one of the endings that can help you.
Right.
I think that's really cool. But like the slow, like when you realize he's an illithid,
Yeah.
it's like, what the heck is going on, bro? And then at first he's like, I didn't want to be an illithid. But then he's really a manipulator.
He is a manipulator, but you can also he manipulates you. Yeah, but like also you can see his side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can see his story and where he's coming from.
It just crossed the line a little bit where he wanted us to turn into an illithid.
Which is what's interesting about it.
Yeah.
Like the case for becoming a illithid is pretty strong, especially when you need an illithid at the end of the game.
Depending on what you choose.
Yeah.
You could have Gale blow up or something.
Right. But for the most part, if you don't want to lose Gale or someone like that, you have to have an illithid with you.
I would put him maybe low A.
I'll be honest with you, I might put him in S tier.
S tier?
Yeah, I really like him.
With Roland?
Yeah, I'd probably put him in S tier, me personally.
I would say high A.
Okay.
I'll give you a high A, but that's
Okay.
about it. You don't got any more authority on me.
All right, you know what? I want to switch out Roland and him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that. Roland is going in the mid A tier.
I think the Emperor is my favorite villain.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Raphael.
And also maybe that's just my bias because Mindflayers are my favorite monster in D&D.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
that might be it. But I just found like once it got to the end and he really truly became a villain, I was like, oh frick.
I mean, he doesn't have to be a villain.
I know, but like for our playthrough.
All right, so we have the Absolute on here. What is your opinion of the Absolute?
I like the Absolute.
Really?
Hmm?
I'm going to be honest, for me, it was a little bit of a letdown.
Really?
I feel like it's not really an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
Especially compared to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. If I look at the main antagonist of those two games, it really brings this one down a lot. Because those two antagonists, really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This one is just a giant brain.
Right.
Just trying to take over the world. Not nearly as interesting.
I will say the things I like about the Absolute are there's a few scenes throughout the game where it tries to convince you to join it. That you'll be, you can rule the world together. But as soon as it becomes free, that's immediately off the table. Like it was completely 100% lying about that. It is going to kill you and everyone and take over the world. But then as soon as you get the upper hand, it immediately goes back on that again. So I like that about the Absolute. Like it's trying to preserve itself by all means necessary. And of course, this is probably my Mind Flayer bias speaking through a little bit more again. That being said, I'd probably put it in B tier.
I personally would put it in C tier. But I'm fine with a low B.
Okay.
Okay, last character. Orpheus. Not really in it that much. I don't really...
Bit of an a-hole.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew he was going to be an a-hole. Everyone's like, he hates illithid. And you got a tadpole. He's going to want to kill you, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you put him? He's kind of hard to rank.
Maybe a B. Maybe a low B.
Sure.
A lot of B.
A lot of B, yeah. All right, so this is our list. We have no F tiers. We do got spider food down there at the bottom. I feel weird having Astarion in A tier. I feel like everyone is going to disagree with that. We got some hot takes in here.
Yeah. What do you think is the hottest take in your Astarion?
Astarion and Gale.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know people just hate Gale.
Yeah.
The Emperor probably, too.
Yeah. I don't know what people's thoughts are on the Emperor.
So what are your overall thoughts on the game?
I liked the game a lot.
Oh.
I need to play it a few more times before I put it at my #1 game.
It's not my #1
Here's
game.
the thing about me is I like strategic games, co-op games, and games with good story. This one pretty much covers all of those pillars for me.
Really,
You know
my
what I'm saying?
biggest complaint, which I think is most people's, is the lack of closure at the end.
Mhm.
They just need to add like a slideshow at the end just to tell me where all the characters ended up.
Yeah.
You're clearly not going to do a sequel,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I got married to Gale in Waterdeep. I don't know how they would build on that.
And then you could even do like little pieces of artwork too.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That is our Baldur's Gate 3 tier list. Hope you enjoyed.
Let us know what we got wrong and what we got right. Don't take anything too seriously.
Yeah, this is just our opinions of the characters.
And this isn't a slight to the writers or anything. Like, even the D tier characters are pretty good characters, I think.
Yeah.
And this is all just personal preference as well.
Subscribe if you want to see more videos. If you want to see us in a tabletop campaign, we have a series called Table for Two where we play a little tabletop campaign. We play a game called Ironsworn. Really fun.
Really fun game.
Check it out. Other than that,
By the Oak Father's blessing. Hail, well met.
I'm going to use my authority and make them subscribe.
That's a good one. You think someone else has used that?
Probably.
I bet. That's a good one. A little dog out there.
Oh, that's nice.
He's a cute little dog. Taking a walk. Yeah. I want a dog.
Oh, wow.
They're playing games with them. Cool. Okay.